Hey, so I am Ryan A. Ryan Augustine, this is Ryan A. Sorry for making noise. If I am speaking too fast, please comment below. You speak too fast, you're terrible. Slow down.
You speak too fast.
Yes, I need to get better at this thing if I'm trying to be a YouTuber. So this is Diana Baldwin. She is a digital nomad. She has been in grind camp for the past 3 weeks or so. And yeah, I'm gonna let her introduce herself. And the question is really based in being a digital nomad, working and traveling. The like free product placement for Fuente Popular. I'm just yeah. So giving your feedback on working and traveling, the common challenges, and for y'all who may consider doing it, if you should, and what you should keep in mind. Yeah? So take the floor. It's yours.
Well, that's a lot of questions. It's a lot of topics. I think two things come to mind first. One, it's doable,
Right.
even if you don't think it is.
Right.
Because most people seem like they don't think it actually is doable.
Wait, sorry. I want to introduce myself. Just tell them what to do.
Introduce myself.
Yeah, sorry. She was supposed to introduce herself.
So, well, you can ask me like 40 questions at a time. Okay.
So who are you? What do you do? How long have you been doing it?
I am Diana. I am a mental health therapist, which I've been doing for a long time now. But the last year and a half, 2 years, I went totally remote. So I do all my work online. I see all my clients over video or phone or messaging. And I have courses, building YouTube, building social media, all of that. But so I'm a therapist, but my whole practice is online.
So for all the people who are seeing this, who are thinking of doing therapy, or you have friends who are therapists and they think they can't work and travel, Diana does. She deals with her clients online, and she's actually pretty good at what she does. Actually, you should check her page out.
She's actually pretty good. Actually, surprisingly.
Sorry, didn't mean to sound like that, but I would put a link to her YouTube channel so you could get some feedback. I think she's focusing on what now? Relationships, something like that. Yeah, relationships. Yeah.
But I think the typical jobs I think that people think of as far as traveling are like, oh, I can write a blog, or
Right.
I can do this, like I can do YouTube, or I can do like I don't know, something online, like I can create websites or stuff like that. And those are definitely classics. I think that there's tons to do within that, but there's also, you can do anything else. Like hardly anyone has ever heard of a remote therapist at this point, completely online, but you could do anything. So I think that's,
I think that's the most interesting thing about our time. Like, I follow Gary Vee a lot, and like he speaks about us being in one of the most intriguing times to be alive, because we can all somewhat use our skills and develop them to work online if we want, which will give us the opportunity to travel and see the world and kind of give us more of the life that we want to live, you know, that most people seem to want.
The possibilities are endless.
Oh, and that should be like, I should. I'm not gonna edit this video, but it'll be great if that like
rainbowed up.
Yeah, that'll be great. So let's simplify this.
Okay.
The biggest challenge working and traveling. What's the biggest challenge?
It's hard to say just one.
Yeah. Give me the top 3.
I think logistics is hard, especially for my stuff, which requires a quiet space, really solid connection, obviously internet, which everyone's does that works remote, but mine, I can't just go to a coffee shop and have a session, especially like really intense sessions. So I always have to have quiet space. I have to have the right kind of space and ambiance, kind of. So I think just working out the logistics, finding the spots that are really like will work for you in that way. I think internet is always one that we talk about, like as digital nomads. Like we share the cafes with like the best. This is the code. This is the we do all of that. So logistics, you always have to think about. And then when you're traveling and going to a new spot, there's usually an adjustment period where you're trying to find everything. You're finding the good spots. You're even finding like grocery stores, right? You're finding everything again. So making sure to stay on track is hard sometimes when you're traveling because you don't have the same routine, right? Everywhere you go. So you have to reset everywhere you go. And I think that's a pretty big challenge. But I try to prep for that so I don't plan anything like major projects or like a new client in those days. I know like I can do what I need to, but it's more resetting and finding all the things that I need. Other challenges?
I think we'll do a video on becoming a digital nomad. Because like I'm addressing digital marketing in general, but I didn't think of addressing actually because we all are digital nomads.
In very different ways,
in very different ways. So I'll do that. I'll give you all a kind of map of what it takes to be a digital nomad and what we recommend, and we can start a conversation.
Yeah, what things are difficult.
So let's go with the top 3 positives of being a digital nomad.
Freedom.
That's really like
freedom again.
So you just envision effects. Freedom. That's a big one.
I think freedom is huge. And we talk about this kind of stuff a lot, even being in the house. Like we work probably a lot more hours than we would or we did when we were working other jobs, actually. But it feels so much different. It feels better because it's my choice. And I also have the freedom to completely make my schedule as I want it. So if I don't want to work this afternoon, I won't. If I want to sleep in, I will. I'll make up for it somewhere else. It's not like I'm not going to be working, but I have the complete freedom over my schedule, which I really like. And I struggled with working a 9 to 5 because I like going to the gym in the midday, and I like not waking up at 5 a.m. But I'm fine to work on weekends and afternoons and randomly do videos, and so I really like creating my own schedule, and I also feel like that maximizes me and like when I'm best, so I can structure. I'm really good in the mornings at talking to clients, so I'm going to do that. The afternoons I like to go to the gym. At night I really like working on more graphic stuff or creating thumbnails or that kind of stuff, so I can maximize my time how I want it, which is, I really like that. And I have the freedom to do that. So that's big.
That's interesting.
But freedom also goes into location, right? I can also live and travel and be wherever I want to be. Even like in front of a lovely arch.
A lovely arch. That arch is pretty good. But that is, and I guess we also need to have the discussion. This will be, I don't know, how long is this video? Whoa, it's pretty long. It's not that long. But we'll have a discussion on entrepreneurship and being an employee.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah, because
there's
just
pros
made me
and cons.
Yeah, because like I'm not here to sell you dreams. We're both not here to sell you dreams about you should drop everything you're doing and become a digital nomad.
It's not for everyone.
That's not like I personally have struggled with trying to be an entrepreneur for a long, and I still do. Like I'm not a millionaire over here. I still struggle to make all of it happen. So yeah, I will do a video on that, entrepreneurship versus employment.
And I think different personalities are good for each one. And if you're not comfortable with a fairly high level of anxiety all the time and not a lot of stability and you're not really a risk taker, this life is not really going to work that well. Because, and those, if those are where your values are, then this probably isn't like the best route. Which is why I love doing like value charts and like let's define what our values are and figure out what our values actually are. And for me, every time I've ever done one of those exercises in any form, freedom has always been in my top 5 values. So if freedom is in my top 5 values, then I'm willing to risk these other things for that. So if that's the case, then this would be worth it. But if your top is like stability,
then you
it's like taking care of my family, and those are your values, then that's not the route to get there. Maybe it is, but I'm just saying.
That's interesting.
I think looking at it from a value perspective is
so you'll see why you should subscribe to Truth to You Counseling. No, really. So, thank you. I said we'd have another video on the employment versus, and I would have this with a couple people. So I will speak to you about it, speak to Mark about it. Anybody else who comes to picking brains.
A group conversation would be interesting too.
Yeah, group conversation.
Because we have a lot of these conversations, and we all have different opinions.
Yeah. We should do a podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. So see you guys. Love you. Travel the world when you can. Bear with me, I have to walk around. If you want to. Yeah, if you want to. Don't forget the effects. Like they're super. Like imagine effects happen. Right.
It'd be interesting to see what different people imagined. Do you see a rainbow?
Comment what you see, so that maybe I can edit it. Yeah. Like flying pigs or something. That's pretty random. But subscribe like here. It's like here, right? Or like there. One of the two. Subscribe. Also subscribe to Truth to You Counseling. I'll put a link below. Love you guys. See ya.